we're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, here with my brother from another big game, James, man, and it is another episode of the Best of Enemies. Today we're gonna do something a little special. Do something like we've done lists, right? We've done the top 10 quarterbacks, wide receivers. We did edge rushers. I think we've done a lot. But today we're going to do a little quick game of Would You Rather. So we're going to basically go, we did this last year too. We'll go through all of the roster spots, all the positional groups, and we'll pick which one we would want, which between the Eagles and the Cowboys, we'll see who has the better roster spots. But what's going on, James? How you been, brother?
I've been doing good, man. We missed it Thursday. That's my fault, everybody. I tried to take the power nap and it went a little too long. But here we are on Saturday morning. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. Me and Joe were already talking about it. We got a nice big plan for each one of us today. But what a way to kick it off with the Best of Enemy show and talking about these rosters, because honestly, this is going to be a tough one because both of these rosters are pretty stacked. I would say even more so than last year. Yeah. Maybe your defense off a little bit, but these are some good rosters here, so it's going to be a good talk.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how we feel about both. It's going to be interesting because, like you said, the Eagles definitely, at least on paper, have taken a step back on that defensive side. We'll talk about that. And the Dallas Cowboys have definitely added some weapons on that offensive side. So it's a different story from what it was last year. Now, before we get into all of that, obviously, we had our final day of OTAs. I don't know if you guys did as well, but our final day of OTAs was the other day. Mm-hmm. Overall, I'm happy that everybody's healthy. I think that's the biggest thing you can take away from OTAs, especially is everybody's healthy, everybody's good to go. But I will say that there is a concern at the safety and linebacking room still. There's still some question marks on what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do there. But as far as the Cowboys go, how did you guys, you guys got out of OTAs unscathed? How are you guys feeling right about now?
Well, we did have a little scare. CeeDee Lamb, the last day of the OTAs. Well, it was the second day of the mini camp. It was like toward the end of camp. He went up and made a really great catch and landed a little wrong. They said it was no precaution. He stayed out there with the team. You know what I'm saying? And, pretty much they let him kind of rest that because we don't need any. That's our guy. We don't need any problems. But for the most part, everybody came out healthy. There was a lot of guys that rested, just a little knickknacks to get ready for the full training camp. But we feel good coming out of camp. A lot of guys that we're looking to expect to take a next step. The Jalen Tolberts, Jabril Cox, guys that we had, Kelvin Joseph, guys that we had kind of question marks, having a really good camp. But obviously, these aren't pads, so everybody looks good without pads, and we've heard this story before. So now I'm just really interested to get into training camp to see what's really going on with this. But I feel good about camp, our rookies, our players, Brandon Cooks being in there, Gilmore. Just excited to see, man. I'm the same way you were excited last year about your squad. That's the way I feel this year about my team.
Ooh, that's a big statement right there.
That's a very big statement. I'm drinking Kool-Aid.
He's out drinking Kool-Aid. So
I'm drinking hella Kool-Aid on my squad, dog. My squad gonna be nice this year. It's the same way you were pumping your chest out last year. I don't care, Jay. I don't give a hell. We gonna be good this year. Same way you were saying that. Yeah, I'm saying that this year. We're coming out there this year. I don't know. I feel like our record be the 12-5, 13-4, but dog, this team, I don't care. I'm drinking Kool-Aid. Not on my whole squad. I'm drinking a whole big pitcher of Kool-Aid on my defense for sure. But it's getting closer and closer to my offense because I just love the direction the team is at right now.
Yeah, I like I said, you guys definitely added some weapons to places where you guys weren't necessarily great at last year. So I understand it. I definitely understand it, and I respect it. I think you guys are going to be a pretty good team. I think the NFC East is going to take a step forward as a whole. I think that there's a lot of good new players on the in the division. A lot of second year for Dabble. I'm interested to see what happens there. Interested to see what happens with Washington if they maybe found a quarterback finally, but we will see what happens there. Now, I will say this, obviously, going through all these, it's going to be it's still very early, and maybe we can go through this a little bit closer to the season as well, because it is still very, very early, obviously. And like you said, we don't really know necessarily who's going to be the star. We probably have a good idea, but I wouldn't say that everything is solidified just as of yet. But so like I said, we are going to play a nice little game of Would You Rather. You know what I'm saying? So I would love for you guys to join us in this. We're going to start because I feel like this is going to take a little bit of a little bit of time. So let's get into it. I want to start with the easy stuff first. All right. And I want to start with special teams. I mean, we got Jake Elliott. I don't feel good about our punt return, our kick return. I don't feel good about our punts, but we got Jake Elliott. So we got like one of 4 facets. I don't even know who you got. I mean, I think we have a better kicker. I don't know who your punter is. I don't know what you do kick return. I know Keontae Turbin. I would probably give this to y'all if I'm being 100% honest.
Well, I'm gonna just keep it real. I don't really know your guys out there, but I will say I'll take our special teams over your special teams. Our kicker, obviously, Brent Maher. He did well this year, but then we saw the debacle against the Buccaneers where he missed all those extra points. I think he missed like 4 extra points. You had to go. They got Tristan Vizcaino right now, and I don't know anything about him, but I'm gonna keep it real. I never trust a field goal kicker. So I'm just throwing him out the door anyway. I never trust a field goal kicker. Now, our punter, Brian Anger, I definitely will take him over any of your guys. I think he's been consistent. He's had a good career since he's been in Dallas. And then we got Cavante Turpin, who made the Pro Bowl last year. And that was him coming right off of the USFL. So now he's rested. He's going to have a full season to really participate, camp, everything. I think he's going to be even better this year. And we drafted a young guy named Deuce Vaughn, who they're going to be incorporating in the mix, either kick returns or punt returns. And I think he can be electric as well. So if you got those 2 guys, especially if you can really get Deuce Vaughn to figure out where you really want to put him, I think it's going to be explosive. And I think Turpin's going to have even a better year this year because there was a couple plays where he could have had touchdowns and he kind of just didn't get it, maybe made the wrong move. So I think definitely he's going to take even another step. So I'm definitely going to have to take our special teams as well.
I probably would never have like brought up Turpin, right? Because I really don't know your special teams. I mean, it's tough to that's such a random.
Plus,
part
I like
of
our
it,
coach too better, big dog. I can't lie. I like.
Yeah, I don't like our special. I don't like anything about our
Bones.
special teams.
Yeah, I like our special teams coach, Bones Fossil. He's been a veteran for so long. The people love him. He's a gambler. He doesn't care. He'll take a gamble out of nowhere. You kind of worry about that at the same time, but you like that at the same time. So I just feel like across the board, the coach really matters, and I think we lead that as well.
Definitely. I outside of Jake Elliott, that's the only person I would probably take over anybody else's, you know what I'm saying, person or from that unit in the division, to be honest. I think our punter, I love our punter. I had him on the show, but you know, it's been a little bit tough. But I will say Cavante Turpin, you know, I talked to Dante Hall before and he brought him up as a guy that reminded him of him. So there's going to be that moment where I think it clicks for him. But so we got 1-0. So we'll give you 1 right now. Let me write this down so I don't forget.
We taking 1. You ain't giving us 1.
I got 1. Yeah, I got 1. I got 1. That's why I wanted to start with that one, because I knew, you know, that's not the craziest, but we needed kind of a tiebreaker. So it is what it is. We couldn't have 8 because with no one else, we would just tie. All right. So the next, I think, is going to be a good conversation, to be honest with you, because or not that. Yeah, we'll do D-line. This is going to be a good conversation. I think that
be a good one
with Micah Parsons now down, you know, with his hand in the grass a little bit more. You can consider him your part of your D line, right? I don't know if you're considering Hassan Reddick part of the D line.
Yes,
I know he's a pass rusher. Okay, all right. So this is going to be a good conversation because the Eagles obviously strapped up. They got Jalen Carter. You got Jordan Davis from last year. Got Nolan Smith again. You got Brandon Graham, who had a career year. You had Josh Sweat, who had a career
34
year.
though.
Brandon Graham is 34. He is 34, but he's not going to see that many snaps just like last year. So I don't
think he gets 11 sacks either.
I don't know. He did it on very limited snaps last year. Very limited snaps.
True story, but you also lost one of your guys that left, Hargrave, who had 11 sacks too.
Hargrave, yeah, and you know it's funny because a lot of people would be like, "Oh, he couldn't, you know, defend the run, so he was trash." He was an amazing pass rusher. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but I think that the combination of, you know, obviously you have Fletcher Cox back, but adding Jalen Carter, I'm not going to say he's going to get 11 sacks off the, you know, strength of it, but I think that he's a guy that can definitely replace some of that production. And you add a Nolan Smith, you add a lot of guys, and I'm hoping Josh Sweat takes even another step this year. So, I mean, realistically, outside of Micah Parsons, I like all of my players on my D line better than the Cowboys. So I would probably give it to the Eagles. I would give this one to the Eagles, but this is on you.
That's going to be a tough one because when I go to my roster, you mentioned your name, but they are rookies. So you're putting a lot of stock in rookies who haven't seen the field yet, even though Jalen Carter is a talent. We don't lie about that. Nolan Smith is a talent. We don't lie about that, okay? I am not lying saying they are not a talent. They are very good players coming out of college, but they haven't touched the pro field yet. When I look at my guys on my team, on my line, besides Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, okay, y'all already know how I feel about him. He's not the greatest pass rusher, in my opinion, but he still got you 6 sacks last year, and he's still the top run defenders in the league, if not one of the best 1-2 run defenders in the league. Dorrance Armstrong continues to play better. Last year, he had 5 sacks. He gets his contract. He gets 8.5 sacks this past season. Is he the greatest, let's say, athletically? No, but he's a guy that can play multiple positions, and he's great on special teams. He had 8.5 sacks last year. You can't discount that. Sam Williams, you guys have some young guys, but we have a guy in Sam Williams who I think is going to take an elite next step. He was a second-round draft pick. A lot of people were over him. He had 4 sacks and very, very limited snaps. And coming in his second year, I think he's going to take a huge leap and get that 10 sacks. I think he's going to be the bookend on the opposite side of Michael Parsons eventually, and I think he takes that next step season. So I think he gets double-digit sacks, in my opinion. Then you got Dante Fowler Jr., who's not a slouch by any means. He has 6 and only like 200 pass rushing snaps. So if you're talking about Brandon Graham, he got 11 and very limited pass rushing snaps. That's what Dante Fowler Jr. did too. And it's not like Dante Fowler Jr. is a bum in them streets. So then we also got Jonathan Hankins, who's a stud in the middle. He's not a guy who's going to get you high sacks, but he does what his job is, if you could say, like the Fletcher Cox. He did have like 2 sacks this season. Osa Ogadazua. You guys have Milton Williams. I can bang Osa Ogadazua with you as well, because Osa is a beast and he's a monster. Okay, Neville Gallimore, so you could take your guys, but that's a fight right there, dog. Because even though you got numbers, I got numbers not with the double digits, but I got just as quality guys as you do. Maybe your rookie class is a letter better on that defensive line, but we did pick up Mozzie, and Mozzie's going to be the truth this season. I don't know if his numbers will be crazy, but he's going to make a big difference on that defensive line for us as well.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that you guys have probably a better run-stopping defensive line than ours, and I think that your sacks are most likely going to come from mainly Micah Parsons and maybe a Sam, Williams, I think, is a guy that you guys
Sam
were
Williams,
high on.
yes, Sam, I am. Remember that name, dog. He's going to remember that name, okay?
I remember you talking about him when you guys first drafted him, so I know that you guys are high on him. I just think that we have the proven commodities right now, and I think that last year we were close to beating the Bears, record as far as sacks go, even though it was an extra game. But still, we went crazy as far as the defensive line goes, and you can make the argument, and I will make the argument, that our secondary was looking way, way better because of our defensive line, and that's with only rushing 4. So I don't know. I have to give it to the Eagles. I think that you look at the guys that they have, and I think that it's a conversation. I just don't think you guys are there yet. Maybe next year we're talking about, these guys, Sam Smith, Mozzie. We're talking about, all your guys that are kind of going to prove themselves this year, and we're looking at it differently. But right now, I just think that the Eagles have one of the deepest defensive lines in the league, if not the deepest defensive line in the league. So I gotta give it to the Eagles. I mean, and staying with Brandon Graham, last year was the lowest amount of snaps he's ever played. He only played 43% of the snaps with only 474. So I mean, I think that when you have all these, so look at Brandon Graham, right? He got thrown down to kind of like a rotational guy because of the young guys we had and because of Hassan Reddick coming over here. You look at a guy like a Fletcher Cox, right? Fletcher Cox is probably going to have to deal with that too. So he's going to see less snaps. I'm thinking that's going to help him. I'm thinking that's going to help him stay healthy, stay, fresh and everything. So I feel like you have a lot of great defensive linemen that are just going to be healthy and just going to be going after quarterbacks because there's so many of them. So I don't know. Me personally, I'm saying the Eagles.
I'll give you the edge just by the slightest because of what you have coming back. Okay. Now, just what you said, let's evaluate that later on in the year as well. But for what you have coming back to what we have now, I give you the slightest of the edges because even though Fletcher Cox is 32, he still did have 7 sacks, right?
Yeah.
Brandon Graham, 34, 35. I don't think he gets those 11 sacks again. But Brandon Graham is still a very good player, okay? Milton Williams, I think, is a good player as well. So I'll give you the slightest of edges just because of what you have coming back in that maybe middle. And our guy as far as Sam Williams is still young, but like I said, Dorrance Armstrong Jr. 8.5, Dante Fowler Jr. 6. That's 14.5 sacks just right there in part-time ability. So it's gonna be close, dog. So we'll see.
Yeah, we got Derek Barnett coming back. So it's going to be interesting. This year is going to be very, very interesting. I say we got Derek Barnett coming back like I'm the most excited Derek Barnett fan. It is what it is, but he is coming back. And we also got old boy from Florida State, Janaris Robinson, that was on the team all of last year. He's pretty good. I think you guys liked him, if I'm not mistaken. That came from the Vikings. You say you didn't?
I did.
Oh, yeah. See, I knew someone of y'all brought him up to me, so I knew somebody did. But yeah, we got him. We got Katavius Street. So we have a lot of guys that might, end up making a impact on this team. So I'm excited to see what happens this year. But I do agree that you guys are knocking on the door. I think you guys are right there with us. Shout out to everybody.
We're banging on the door. I'm going to say we're banging. We ain't knocking. Yeah. We're banging around.
Y'all doing I'm going to get rhythmic
from the slightest. Cowboy fans, don't hate me. Don't hate me, Cowboys fans, because right here, I say the only reason why I would give him that edge just because of the defensive tackle position right there. Mozzie is a rookie. Hankins, Bohanna's still coming up. Gallimore wasn't the best. So that's why you'll get it. So if it was a 10, you only won by 9.5. So I'm only giving you 0.5 on the D-line.
See, this is all right. I will say most of the Cowboys fans and most of the people in here are agreeing that it's the Eagles by a slight, which I respect. But it's stuff like this that gets me upset sometimes. Like, that's just wrong. That's just like completely wrong. I'm sorry, but it is.
What we'll say.
So he said that Hargrave made that D-line go. Without an inside presence, the Eagles D-line wouldn't look as good. If anything, we had to go and get inside presences because of him. Like, realistically, that's why we had to go get Sue. That's why we had to go get Linval Joseph, because he was getting manhandled in the run game. Right. So, like, realistically, if he was that much of a made us go, he would have never had to stop seeing the field. He had to stop seeing the field because he couldn't take care of the run. But yes, he was an amazing pass rusher, and we're definitely gonna miss him. But we'll be fine. I'm 100% sure we will be fine. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got almost 100 people in the chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. Maybe Saturday's the day. I don't know.
Saturday might be the day.
Yeah,
easy like Saturday morning.
Exactly. People liking it. So this is going to be probably what I wanted to go to first, but I think this is going to be another really, really good conversation. I think you guys are kind of more based, and tell me if I'm wrong, but to me, it looks like the Dallas offensive line is more based on if you're staying healthy. I think if you're healthy, you have a top offensive line. If you don't, things will fall as they may. With the Eagles, it's, again, obviously health is a big thing, but I feel comfortable with our offensive line. Again, I think this is one of, if not the best offensive line in the game.
It's good, but you did lose one or two guys, didn't you?
We lost Isaac Seumalo. We lost one.
He's pretty good, right?
He was good. He was pretty good. Yeah. I would say he was ranked top 10 last year, if I'm not mistaken, at his position. But I will say he's probably this is gonna sound weird, but he's probably the worst of the 5, right? But he wasn't bad in any sense of the word. Like, he definitely will be a big loss. But we do have Tyler Steen and we have Cam Jurgens, who are kind of fighting for that position.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't give you this one, dog, because you got a great offensive line. I mean, Lane Johnson, Jordan was a Milata.
Yep.
He's pretty good. But Lander Dickerson's pretty good. But when I look at my offensive line, like you said, it's maybe we're still figuring it out because they want to make sure we have the depth, and the depth is going to be adequate. But when I look at Zach Martin, I'm taking Zach Martin on any of your guys. Lane Johnson's a dope, and he's a dope tackle, and we know that. But I got two guys in Tyler Smith, who's a second-year player who's going to be all-pro. I'm going to say that right now. He's going to be an all-pro.
Lane Johnson is better than him. Lane Johnson is better than
Lane Johnson is better than him, yes. But what I'm saying is your tackles and Terrence Steele was one of the top offensive linemen before he got hurt the year before and even this past season. So you got Terrence Steele, you got Tyler Smith, who's a second-year player who could be a all-pro at left tackle or guard. You still have Tyron Smith. So even though he's hurt, he's still a very good player compared to your guys. I think the thing that we're kind of worried about is that left guard position. You guys probably got us at the center over Biadish. I will say that. But definitely. when I look at, as a whole, I think our offensive line can definitely bang with you. So I can't give you an offensive line.
I would say y'all could bang with us. Y'all definitely will end in that top, 7-ish area, depending on how healthy you stay. But you look at Jordan Mailata. Jordan Mailata is better than both your tackles. Lane Johnson is better than anybody on your line.
What, Jordan Mailata is better than Tyler Smith right now?
I think so. Yeah, definitely, easily. I definitely think so.
I'm not going to say easily about that. Only thing that really hurt Tyler Smith last year was his penalties as a rookie at 11, but he was still one of the highly graded rookies that whole past season. You get what I'm saying? So, and Zach Martin, Tyler Smith, Tyron Smith, Terrence Steele. I mean, we had one of the top offensive lines last year, running game wise. I mean, we almost had two guys rush for 1,000 yards last year.
I mean, we had a guy run for 1,000 yards, and we had one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league. But my thing is,
we was ranked in the top 5 in sacks.
That's good, yeah, but you weren't higher than us. That's the thing. I mean, I do think that you're going to be good. We
didn't lose anybody on that line except Connor McGovern. Who did you lost? You lost a guy.
We lost one. We lost one guy, and I'm not trying to lower his impact. He was a good player, but I'm not sitting here wrecking my head. We have one of the best. You told me, right? You told me when we talked about special teams. I'm glad you said this. You said coaching matters. We also have the best offensive line coach in the league by far. So I mean, look, I think that if you look at Jordan Mailata, he's better than your tackles, in my opinion. And maybe it's not as far as I'm thinking. You look at Lane Johnson, I think he's better than all of your players on your offensive line. I will say that.
No, he's not better.
I do think he hasn't given up a sack.
Better than Zach Martin. You're crazy and you're dumb.
He hasn't given up a sack in 2 years.
Bro,
he hasn't
Zach
given
Martin
up
hasn't given up what 2 sacks in 3-4 years. He's not better than Zach Martin.
He is definitely better than Zach Martin. Lane Johnson is one of the best tackles in the game.
Zach Martin is going to the Hall of Fame.
So is Lane Johnson.
Who's gonna go first? Zach Martin.
Who retires first? I guess that's what we gotta ask.
Who took drugs?
I mean, hey, he did take drugs. No? He did. He definitely did take drugs, but that was a while ago. That was a while ago.
It don't matter. He did it. So what does that
so
say?
He did it.
Cheater.
So he did it, right? He did it. But the thing is, Lane Johnson, that was maybe a decade ago. But either way, Lane Johnson.
He did it.
I get it. But Lane Johnson had to go through that whole time. To this day, if he gets caught with anything, he is going to get suspended for the full season. So he has had that over his head for almost a decade, and he has been the best tackle in that decade.
Nope,
he is. He's definitely better. All right. So if you want to, I'll say the best I'll do is I'll say there's a tie between Lane Johnson and what's his name, the guard you guys got. What's his name? I forgot his name already.
Oh, Zach Martin.
Zach Martin. I don't know why I forgot his name, but I'll say at the very best, it's a tie. At the very best.
Yeah, very best.
At the very best.
Bro, don't let me go out. See, you lucky I didn't have enough time to pull out Zach Martin's stats because that dude don't give up sacks or penalties.
Micah, Lane Johnson doesn't either. That's what I'm saying. Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack in the fourth quarter in 5 years. 5 different. That's the only person. Lane Johnson is consistently the highest ranked offensive lineman.
I'm able to do it right now on the show, but after this show is over, I'm going to break down all of them Zach Martin stats.
Go ahead. So everybody keep an eye on Twitter because we're going to be talking today.
Because I'm bringing out them Zach Martin, Lane Johnson compare. I don't care if Lane plays tackle and he plays guard. Let's put the stats together because guess what? Zach Martin is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
So let me ask in the comments. In the comments, do you and be honest? Y'all can be honest. I'm not gonna hate on y'all comments. I know there's Cowboys fans. I know there's Eagles fans. Who offensive line would you take? Whose offensive line would you take? And yes, K-Bands, I said in the fourth quarter because that's when you win games. That's what's important. That's when you win games. Not giving up a sack in the fourth quarter in 5 years. That's kind of impressive. Let's be 100% honest right now.
My guy ain't giving up a sack, like 2 sacks in like 3 to 4 years. Only had like 1 holding penalty like in 4 years. Are you serious? He's one of the less penalized offensive linemen in the game ever in history.
Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack in 2 years either.
And gave up no sacks. Out of 1,143 snaps, gave up no sacks and had 1 penalty, bruh. 1.
Almost 3 years. Almost 3 years without a sack. Almost 3 years.
Bro, I just told you right here. You want me to go to the other year? Let me pull it up. 2021. 1 sack.
That's more than 0.
Okay.
That's more than 0.
So that's 2 sacks in 3 years, right? That's 2 sacks in 3 years. You know how hard that is? And then in 2019, no sacks. So you're talking about in 4 years, my dude has given up 2 sacks and like in almost 4,000 snaps. Bruh, come on. That ain't close.
Let me see if I can find Lane Johnson's sacks total. 0. I can't find them because they don't exist.
Okay.
So 0 is less than 1. That's
okay,
my only thing.
I just told you my guy didn't give up sacks either.
Yeah, but he gave up 2 in the last 3 years, right? My guy hasn't.
The last 4 years.
My guy has not given up a sack since 2020, and he gave up 1. So I mean, it's at the very. I think we're really like it's semantics at this point. It's close.
Got more penalties than my guy though.
He has 9, 10, 11
last year. This past season,
he had 3 last year. He had 3 last year. He had 6 2021.
Okay, but my dude had 1 penalty this past season. 1.
You know how many penalties he had in the playoffs? 0. You know how many sacks? 0.
My guy didn't give up no sacks neither.
That's because he don't play enough in the playoffs.
Yeah, right. Your dude don't be. You act like your dude's a playoff dude that y'all just play playoff.
Bro, he go crazy. I don't know.
Like
I mean,
I said no. First ballot Hall of Famer is Zach Martin. It's not Lane Johnson.
Yes, it is. You're telling me Lane Johnson ain't gonna make the Super Hall of Fame?
He definitely could make the Hall of Fame, but he's not gonna be a first ballot like my guy is. He's not gonna be a first ballot. My guy is gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Facts.
So is Lane Johnson's going to be a first ballot. Lane Johnson has a Super Bowl ring.
Revisit that. We'll throw a little side wager on that one because I'm guaranteed my guy's going to be a first ballot.
Oh, we'll talk about that. So it's kind of split. I ain't going to lie. More people are saying the Eagles, but I think those more people are Eagles fans. So I'm not going to I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to be like everybody's saying, you know what I'm saying? But I guess we'll come back to this.
Let's make that one even then.
Yeah, we'll make that one even. We'll make that one even. Because the way I'm doing it is each of us get a point. So far, both of us have 3 points. So right now we're tied. You know what I'm saying? So that's fair. That's fair. I'll live with that. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, but it is what it is. Let me see what we got next. We'll go there next. Linebackers. This is a good one because I don't. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I can't sit here and tell you what we have. I mean, Nakobe Dean, yes, he could be really good. Nicholas Morrow, we have high hopes for him. Christian Ellis has looked good in OTAs, but I can't sit here and be like, oh, these guys are going to be dogs. You guys have some good linebackers from last year. So, I mean, I would probably give this to you. I'm not going to lie.
We can't probably give this. So we're going to, because LVE, even though he's maligned, he still has been a good player in his Cowboys career, and he had a really good season last year. So LVE is probably better than a lot of your linebackers right now. Damone Clark chumps all you guys. That rookie came in from LSU last year after having an injury, and he they had no time to training camp, nothing. Came in bare and hit the ground running with like 8 games left. Dog, he's better than all you guys right now. And that arrow is going to be super pointed up. If he played the way he played this past season as a rookie, okay, I'm definitely feeling that. Then we got the Demarion Overshown, who obviously he plays a hybrid. He's a hybrid linebacker. Malik Jefferson didn't get any time. Jabril Cox, we're still waiting on him. Devin Harper, we haven't seen. But just LVE and Damone Clark in itself will beat you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love our linebackers right now. That can change. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Like I know having Nakobe Dean is a very smart person, and I think that's his biggest knock was definitely his size coming out of college. But he's a very, very smart person. You have some dogs on that defensive line that may be able to help them, and we always have guys that come out of nowhere at linebacker. You look at TJ Edwards, Alex Singleton, just to name a couple. So. I would give you guys this, but I will say this, just like you said, you guys are knocking. I think that these guys have a very good chance of knocking on that door as well. I think that it won't be as as wide of a gap as it is right now once the season's over. I think these guys will be pretty good. But yeah, I can't say that we have anything yet. That's the biggest thing right now. I think we don't have anything that we can put our hat on just yet. So, I won't lie. I'm going to be real. And I'll give it to you guys.
Realness. I appreciate the realness. But once again, just like you said, you're waiting for some of your guys to step up this season. Well, we're already having a guy in Jabril Cox who we've been waiting for the last couple of years. He's been dealing with injuries the last couple of years. He stepped up in mini camp. Obviously, it is mini camp. You don't have the pads on, but the ability was already there. He's already breaking up passes, showing his range and coverage ability. The knee looks healthy. If Jabril Cox takes that next step, y'all not going to be close to us, in my opinion, because Jabril Cox is that key factor. He is the key factor. And then, like I said, DeMarvion Overshown, who came out of Texas, we love his ability. He did have a high missed tackle rate. I don't like that, and he needs to get better with the tackling. He can tackle. He's a heat-seeking missile. He just needs to get better with it. But I think he's going to surprise people, and they put him in packages. Devin Harper is another guy who was out due to injury, and he was wrecking shop in preseason, but he got injured. So the same thing you're saying with your potential, we got just as much potential. So if your potential measures up and you're like, oh, look at our linebackers now. If our potential measures up with the guys we already have, it's going to really beat you guys. Your guys are not going to be close, in my opinion. Just me, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. I mean, I think that, I think right now you guys got that. I ain't mad at that, but we never invest in linebackers, so I'm not even really that surprised about that.
We don't invest in linebackers either. Keep it real.
Yeah. So I mean, I like Jabril Cox. I was mad that you guys drafted him, so I'll give you guys that. You guys got the linebackers, but as you say that one was separate, very separated. I think that this is very separated as well. I think that the Eagles have by far a better tight end room than the Cowboys do. So I without even a doubt, I'm giving this to the Eagles.
By far, I'm only giving you Dallas Goedert. That's it. You don't by far have a better tight end room than us.
Who else do you have? Who do you even have? Are you going to put your starter against our backups? Because that's the only way it'll work for me.
I mean, like I said, Dallas Goedert, he trumps our guys because he's been there. He's done that. He's a devastating tight end. Can't take nothing away from him. So because of him, if you're taking him, and we lost Dalton Schultz, who was average, but we lost him. So we're coming in with up and coming guys. So I'll give you that. But for you to say it's blowing us out the water, no, because you just have Dallas Goedert. Besides that, I'm banging with Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot with any of your other guys. Facts. I'm taking them over any of your other guys. Dallas Goedert is the only one that trumps this tight end room because he's been there and done that. We have 2 second-year guys, but the potential with Ferguson and Hendershot, and we already saw little doses of it last year, is way better. And then we got the Luke Schoonemaker, and you better be careful about him because he was running them 4.6s in combines, and he wasn't asked to do a lot of pass catching at Michigan, but the potential is already there. But as I said, just like when I was talking about your defensive line, it's potential. So I can't throw it out there as in, oh, that's going to happen, right? I can't say that. So I can't really count him. And I'll give you the tight end room because of Dallas Goedert and what he's been doing. But beyond him, I'm taking all my guys after that.
Bro, people say some dumbass stuff. People really saying that Dallas Goedert's mid. Dallas Goedert ain't a game changer. Do y'all watch football? Y'all should really. It's a really fun game. Y'all should really check the game out. He's second tier.
I don't know if he's a game changer, but he's definitely.
Oh, he's a game changer. He's a game changer. He almost had. He was on pace to get 1,000 yards last year.
But he didn't. I would say
because he got injured.
I'm gonna tell you what. I think Zach Ertz was better than him. Just
no,
in my opinion. In his young years, yeah.
Not at all. Zach Ertz was a very reliable pass catcher. That was exactly what he is. He could not block. He could not run after the catch. He could not do any of that. Dallas Goedert is one of the best blocking tight ends in the league, and he's one of the best pass catching tight ends in the league. He is number 4, in my opinion, and number 4 is being a little bit nice to whoever you put at number 3, because realistically, I think he's right there with Travis Kelce and old boy from George Kittle. I think he's right there with those two. I think he's maybe 3. I can't even think of a 3 to put over him. So I definitely
targets, 700 yards and 3 touchdowns. Nah.
Say that again.
55 catches, 700 yards, 3 touchdowns.
And how many games? We're gonna skim over the context of it.
How many games did he play? My bad. How many games did he play?
I think he missed like 5 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, well, if he missed 5 games, okay, I'll give you that. Like I said, I haven't took anything away from Dallas Goedert. I said that's why I give you the
No,
tight
you
end room.
haven't.
I haven't.
You
That's why I'm
haven't.
giving you the tight end room, because I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he's a very legit tight end. I don't know about game changer in my opinion, but he's a very good. He's a dog. He's given us fits. He's given us problems when we played him. So yeah, he's legit. We wanted him coming out of college. I mean, we were probably going to draft him if you guys didn't take him ahead of us.
Yeah, facts. We moved up to grab him. You got a super chat.
All right, and shout out to my dog Tavis Bank cousin out there for the 990 holler. He said, due to the height of the Eagles linebackers, Schoon, Can, and Will Cook, he's known to cook linebackers. Yeah, I mean, y'all linebackers is going to be a big problem for y'all, but we'll see. But
They
like
could
I said,
be.
I give you Ertz. I mean, I give you Dallas Goedert, but our guys are creeping, because don't slip on Peyton Hendershot, because the way you got Dallas Goedert, I'm going to say Peyton Hendershot and Fergus can be those type of guys, with Hendershot having more of the upside. He was an absolute dog, and the only reason why he didn't get drafted this past season was because he had some off-field issues. Those were kind of taken care of, and I'm telling you, dog, I think by the end of the season, our tight ends will be better than yours.
I don't
Just
know
my
about
opinion.
that. I don't know about that.
Tight ends.
I would
not
take
tight end.
I would take Dan Arnold. If Dan Arnold
No,
makes this
no,
team, I'm
no.
taking him over most of your players.
Yeah.
I like Jack Stahl as a blocker. I like Jack Stahl as a blocker. Grant Calcaterra has a lot of upside as a pass catcher. I mean, these are things that you got to watch. We'll definitely revisit this, but obviously the Eagles got that one. Eagles got that one. And shout out to everybody. Mark Andrews, Mark Andrews, maybe I'll put him above. But really, probably not, to be honest. Not as a blocker.
I'll put Mark
Andrews as a pass catcher, not as a blocker. I
would
would
take
take
1,000 yards receiving, didn't he?
my guy was on. That's the only receiver they have. Who else do they have in Baltimore?
Even if they had receivers, he would be a dog.
But said Joe just making. Who is Jay Lombardi?
This
man needs a coffee because he's just talking right now. He's just talking right now. Darren Waller is not better than Dallas Goedert. I don't care what anybody says. I will fight to the death on that. Maybe
he's a better pass catcher, but if you're talking about all around, no.
I don't even think he's a better pass catcher. All right, yeah, you're right. You're right. He's more explosive. I'll give you that. He's more explosive.
He's damn near like a big receiver, so you can't do that. But if you're talking about an all around, he is better all around than Waller. Yes, I will admit that.
Dude says I don't want to talk junk about Shoemaker because he is from Connecticut. So I'm trying not to say nothing too bad.
I'm telling you, dog. That's why I feel like we're going to revisit this. The couple, like we talked about, a few positions we're going to revisit. The tight end position is something we're going to revisit because you're sleeping on Shoemaker. I can't throw him in there because he's a rookie. You feel me, Joe? And you can't really count that because we don't know what rookie's going to do. We've seen too many busts in this NFL where guys supposed to be this and that. And when they come in the league, they do absolutely nothing. So I can't say that, but I'm going to say Shoemaker, dog, he's got the big time potential to really do things. And Ferguson and Hendershot, bruh, I'm sorry. Y'all tight room is going to be better than y'all's.
Y'all better hope Shoemaker is good because y'all picked him mad early. Y'all picked him mad early.
We did, but he's going to be good. I'm telling you. I wouldn't lie about it. He's going to be good.
We'll see. I hope so. Shout out to Connecticut, man. Y'all love them Connecticut boys. Y'all really do. So, all right, these last couple are going to be fun. Because I saved the best for last. If you could tell already the ones I waited for.
I know what you saved.
This next one is going to be, I'm going to do it as 2 points. All right. Next one I'm going to do as 2 points because it's going to be the full secondary. So cornerback, safety room. I would give you safeties. I wouldn't give you cornerbacks.
We're taking corners too. Yes, we are. Okay, let's go for corners. Let's go.
All right, so cornerback, obviously you got Slay, you got James Bradbury. James Bradbury was one of the best cornerbacks in the league last year, especially number-wise. You look at Avonte Maddox, that three right there. I'll give you Diggs. Diggs is a great player, but he's not – I don't think he's better than any of those three.
Say again? Gilmore.
Oh, yeah, you got Gilmore this year. That's a good conversation. I forgot about Gilmore.
I got Gilmore, and I got Diggs, and we got Deron Bland, and you got – who is your third guy?
Avonte Maddox is better than Deron Bland. I don't care what. If Avonte Maddox is healthy, we're assuming everybody's healthy, right?
No. 5 interceptions as a rookie.
Interceptions ain't everything, man. Avonte Maddox is a dog.
Was tight too.
Where did
a 5th-round pick?
Where did he play though? Where was his position?
State.
Deron Bland.
Oh, he played on the outside and he played inside. He played on the outside and he played in the slot.
Okay, so that makes my point because Avonte Maddox isn't given those opportunities. He's just a slot guy. That's all he does. That's
so
all he
then
does.
that's why my guy is better, because my guy can play outside and inside. So that's
He
why my guy
can
is
play
better.
both spots, but we have 2 dogs outside. I can
They got
guarantee
2
you that
dogs too.
Deron Bland isn't going to play outside now that you got Stephen Gilmore. That's
But
not
he
going to
can.
happen.
That's the point. Your
You
guy
can, but
can't.
so can Avonte Maddox, but he's not going to. Why would they?
Okay, Deron Bland, I'm taking him over your guy all day. Sorry.
No,
We're
I'm taking my
that.
quarterback.
And then Israel Mukamu. Who's your 4th guy? Our 4th guy is better than your 4th guy.
Stop it. We got what? It depends on who you want to put as our 4th guy. We got like 40 different cornerbacks right now. We got Zach McPherson. We got Mekhi Gardner. We just drafted this year. We got Josh Jobe that we got last year.
Look. You said Avonte Maddox.
Eli
right?
Ricks.
Hold on. Avonte Maddox, right? His passer rating allowed against him 92.5. Passer rating against Deron Bland, rookie, 76.4.
So we just got to pick and choose.
No, we're not gonna pick and choose. I'm just telling you, when you said your 3rd is better than our Deron Bland, I just told you right there.
So what was your
11
you
yards?
think Stephon Gilmore?
Go ahead. What happened?
What was your your pass defense rank last year?
My pass defense?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know what our pass. I have to pull that up.
If anybody in the comments knows, y'all could chime in, because
chime
I'm
in.
really asking a question now.
We still got Jordan Lewis. Israel Mukamu. I know Kevin Joseph hasn't done anything, but he's still around. He's a potential player. Just look at our whole room as a whole. And then we got this young guy we moved up for, Eric Scott Jr. Keep an eye on him from Southern Miss, 6'2", 200 pounds. We moved up. We traded a pick to go back and get him. I just feel like our room is better. And like I said, our first 3 can bang with your – I mean, come on, dog. Diggs, Gilmore, Bland, Mukamu.
Slay, right, Bradbury, Maddox. Like that's a pretty darn good. I mean, last year. All right. So if the ranking that I have up right now is correct, all right, it's from teamrankings.com. I don't know how. You guys let me know if this is a bad source, but either way, this one has Philadelphia at number 1 and it has Dallas at number 8 as far as pass defense goes. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna agree here. That's why I left these.
Yeah.
I will say I will probably give you the safeties. I would give you safeties because I don't know what we have. Like, even though on paper Terrell Edmonds is a good player, I think that he's not great. He's not amazing, but he's a good player. This dude just said Bradbury is garbage. This is why some of y'all need to stop drinking so early, because that is the craziest thing I've ever heard, bro. That is crazy. Anyways, y'all, your fans are on one today. I'll tell you that.
Yours aren't. I just
we are too.
Comments. I just haven't been mentioning your guys.
Yeah, I'm just getting. You like when I get upset. That's why
talking crazy in them comments. I just ain't been, just sitting there trying to talk about them. But like I said, Bradbury, he's not a joke. I mean, his numbers, passer rating allowed against him was only 54.
Exactly,
54%.
I don't think he gave up a touchdown this year.
Did he give up a touchdown? I think he gave up like 1 or 2. He had 3 interceptions on this past season. Stephen Gilmore had 2 interceptions. Pass rating allowed against him was 80.
That's not good.
That's not great. But
I'm just kidding. That's not terrible.
I'm taking Gilmore over Bradbury.
I gotta take the Eagles, especially you look at Pat. I mean, I know that you guys are happy. You got a shiny new toy.
That one out.
Yeah, I got a nice little shiny new toy. I respect it, but yeah, I'm taking my.
Just Eagles. Like y'all got this shiny new toy last year and you was geeked up. Well, we got our shiny toy this year, and I feel like our secondary is going to be better than your secondary this year for sure. The reason why is because our safety room is better than yours as well. So when you look at that, if you say I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not taking the Eagles over my corners. But if you were to say that, if you combine that, our guys are just going to be better because our safeties are better.
Yeah, I mean, if I said the full secondary, if we said the full secondary, then yeah, I'll probably like give you the edge just because of this. I don't know what my safeties are going to be, but that's the thing, though. We can literally, if we wait till the season starts halfway through the season, this could be a totally different conversation. I don't know.
We can revisit the conversation.
Oh, we definitely will.
We always revisit the conversation. Heck yeah.
We definitely will. I will say the Eagles, I'm excited. You look at Sidney Brown, who we just drafted. You look at Terrell Edmonds, like I said, he's not a bad player. Is he like a top tier guy? No, not necessarily, but he will give you good snaps. He will give you good snaps.
So will Israel Mukamu, 6'4",
yeah,
205,
but that's what I'm saying. I gave it to you. I gave it to you. I liked Izzy. He actually was on Mike's channel, if I'm not mistaken. He did an interview with Mike.
He was on my dog's. Yeah, he was on Mike's channel. I think he was on my dog. Was he on Landlord? What's up with your Landlord and HTM? All my guys out there. But bro, I'm just saying, if we're looking at the whole cornerback room, I think we have you. Because our fourth and fifth guys can take your fourth and fifth guys. And I definitely feel like our third guy, Bland, is better than your Maddox. Sorry. My guy can play both positions. Your guy I haven't seen so much.
So far, going into the last two positions, I believe we're going through, last three, excuse me. You guys are up by 1 point. You guys have 7. We have 6. I respect it. Hey, the secondary is going to definitely be a point of contention all year. The last two are going to be.
Can I talk about my safeties right quick?
Oh, of course.
My bad. What I'm saying, like you just gave us that victory. I want to talk about that victory. I want to talk about my victory.
I'm a sore loser.
On my safeties, because we got Donovan Hitman Wilson, the Hitman. Okay, that's the Hitman. And then you got Malik Hooker, who came and resalvaged his career, who was a top pick, and he came over here and is one of the most underrated, I think, safeties in the business right now, because nobody's talking about him. And then Jaron Kearse, who was decent at those other teams, but sometimes you have to get to the right program and coaching, right? Remember they said that, and he just took his game to another level these last couple of years. And then we still got Marquise Bell, who we picked up, who is going to be something to be worried about. And then you can still flex DeMar Overshown to safety or linebacker. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take our guys just to kind of solidify that victory, because I wanted to scream it out to you guys first.
You got another super. I'll let you read this one. Yeah. People are really. I don't know if they're just trolling. I'm hoping at this point that they're just trolling, because there's no way.
Yeah, they're probably trolling. Shout out to my dog K Bands for the $2 Hollywood team. Is a big play. Bradbury, the guy, because obviously we're going to talk about the Super Bowl where he got the pick on him. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb did a couple things to him too. So you know what I mean.
What did he do? I'm about to look at
a touchdown on him. It was a route inside the slot, and Bradbury's there. He did an in and he did an out, and he got the touchdown over him. That was true. That was the game. We watched it. We watched that game. You saw it.
I ain't worried. I'm taking James Bradbury can play all 5 positions in the secondary better than any of your players. So I'm taking JB. I'm taking JB over all of them.
Okay, and I'm taking my guy.
So far we are 1 point away. Let's see if the Eagles make it. See, I'm being honest. We're both being honest. I will say that we're both being very honest. Mm-hmm. This one's going to be a good conversation because of the lack of guys in that room. Now, you guys still have Tony Pollard, where we can still say, we got a number 1 guy in a DeAndre Swift. He can, if healthy, I guess, can be that guy. And there's questions about Tony Pollard if he can stay healthy for a full season as that lead dog. But I think where I would probably give the Eagles the nod here is that you have the depth. So if you have a Rashad Penny, you have a Kenneth Gainwell, you still have a Boston Scott, you still got Kennedy Brooks, you still got Trey Sermon. I mean, there's a lot of guys. If we're looking at just runners, looking at running backs, you have a lot of guys that can make something shake. Is it the greatest one person? No, not really. If you're saying DeAndre Swift versus Tony Pollard, you probably got to give it to Tony Pollard just because Pollard's been healthy, and he had a full season last year. But I think overall, I would give this to the Eagles. I really do. And then, I don't know if it's fair to do this, but I think if you add in the addition of a Jalen Hurts to the running game, then obviously.
No, you can't add him.
All right. That's why I said I don't know if it's fair. I had to, throw that out there. But
him. But you're just making the case of he's more running backish than quarterbackish.
He's a winner. That's all. That's all.
He's more running backish than you just threw it out there.
I don't care if he's a run. I don't care if he plays Quidditch. As long as he wins games for my football team, that's all.
My guy wins games too. You guys didn't win the Super Bowl. You went there, but you didn't win it. My guy's a winner too. Go look at the numbers. He's got a 62%.
Go to the Super Bowl.
It don't matter. He's got 62% winning percentage, and he owns you guys. So he's a winner.
Yeah, he owns the old Eagles.
He's
played Jalen Hurts once.
Okay,
he's played Jalen Hurts once.
1-0 against y'all, and I can't wait till he plays you this year.
I can't either. I cannot wait
again this year. He owns you. He's your daddy.
He ain't nobody daddy.
He's y'all's daddy.
I don't claim him.
I'm sure you don't. You might be illegitimate to you, but if we go down to the testing, he's 99.9% DNA. Your father.
Yeah, I don't know that the test shows, the DNA test shows He is not the father, but shout out to Professor Chaos. See, this is what I'm talking about. Don't troll. Bring some context, Chaos. This is what I'm talking about. He said, let's relax. Shout out to my guy, though. He said, let's relax. Maddox has been top 3 rated slot guy when healthy and has whole seasons playing outside and safety. Facts. Plus our fourth, not safety. He didn't play a whole season out at safety, if I'm not mistaken, but outside he has. Plus our fourth guy is Greedy. Yeah, I forgot about Greedy. Kaylee Ringo, which hurt. Greedy Williams is always hurt, but he's good. He's a good player when healthy.
Over Greedy because Greedy is always hurt.
He is hurt, but Kaylee Ringo might be interesting if he gets. He hasn't even gotten signed yet.
Ringo, I'll just take Kelvin Joseph because the only thing
I would take Kaylee over Kelvin Joseph.
The only thing that's stopping Kelvin Joseph is his brain. Okay, yeah. He's been just goofy and just been in trouble, but the ability, no. The ability is there. He's just the mind. And like I said, if we're talking about young players, you just mentioned Kaylee. I'm going to take Scott over him that we moved up to get from Southern Miss. I'll take him over him. Scott. His name is Eric Scott Jr. from Southern Miss, 6'2", 200 cornerback. We traded out a late pick, a future pick to come back and get him. I will take him over your guy, Kaylee.
I wouldn't. Kaylee Ringo's 20 years old, bro. Like that, his ceiling is ridiculous. His ceiling is crazy. I think that
and my guy's ceiling is crazy too.
How old is he?
How old is he? Is 21.
All right, yeah. Hey, we'll see what happens. I think this is a conversation I have in a couple years. We'll see what happens there. Unless Kaylee surprises everybody and gets on the starting roster this year, he could. If he switched to like safety, I think he could start right now. I'm trying to find that chart.
But as I said before, our fifth guy, Kelvin Joseph, is going to be better than even Kaylee. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking? Are you crazy, bro? All we need is for Kelvin Joseph to get his mind right. He gets his mind right. Our secondary is going to be one of the top secondaries, bar none.
That's a lot easier said than done. That's lot easier said than done.
Right.
Shout out to my guy Midwest.
Saying with your guys too.
Yeah. No, it's facts. I mean, it's very early. This is, you know what I'm saying? So it's all up in the air at this point. But shout out to my guy Midwest said our 4th, 5th corners are Greedy and Ringo. Dallas ain't got that.
Yes, we do.
I don't even know if they're going to be our 4 and 5. If I'm being honest, we got
Kelvin Joseph, and I'll take Eric Scott over your guys, Midwest Eagles. Shout out to you for the $5 holla for the channel for boss though.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But my thing is, we don't even know if those are going to be our 4 and 5. We have like 10 different guys. It's crazy. Like it really is crazy. So I don't know. It is what it is. I guess so. Here, I gave it to the Eagles. How do you feel?
What, the running back?
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you the running backs just because of your depth. Tony Pollard, I'm gonna take him over a lot of your guys right now. Tony Pollard they didn't use Tony Pollard the right way. We've been overrunning Zeke, and when Tony Pollard finally got some carries, and he was still his career, I think he's averaging damn near 5 yards a carry for his career, dog. You're gonna say there's the jury side on Tony Pollard. He got injured last year as a kind of they're outlawing that tackle, by the way, because people get injured on that tackle, so they're outlawing that tackle. But did you see my guy's numbers? And he didn't even start. He didn't even start, and he got 1,000 yards. So right there, he's going to trump a couple of your guys, but I'm going to go with your depth because you do have Rashard Penny. I think he's a good running back. Boston Scott, he's dangerous. DeAndre Swift, we saw what he did at Detroit. He's a pretty good running back. And then Kenneth Gainwell, I'm not going to hate on Kenneth Gainwell. He gave us some fits. He gets yards. So I'm going to hate on him. So I'm going to go with your depth over our depth. That's why I said, man, you could have added Dalvin Cooks, but I know we ain't going to do it. But, boy, that would have been so good if we did something like that because then it wouldn't even be close. We're talking about the running back room. We got my guy in there, but they're not going to do it. So, for the depth purposes, I'm going to give you the running back position. But if we're talking about a mono running back, Tony Pollard is better than all your guys.
I feel like y'all going to get Dalvin Cook. I don't know why. I just feel.
I'll keep on saying that in the air then.
I hate that.
But because we already had one of our top top guys out there in Dallas land saying the money's already spent and they're not going after him. And plus, he's 27. They don't like the aging running backs. They're going to use all those things against him. Plus, the biggest thing is money. That's the only thing stopping it, in my opinion, because if Dalvin Cooks didn't come with wanting a lot of money, I guarantee you Cowboys will look at him. But he's going to command big money still because he's 27. He's still explosive. These teams that need a running back to Mike for a couple years will go after him and pay him that money, which Dallas is not going to do. That is why. But as I said before, Tony Pollard, Drew is better than all your running backs. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, Drew. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You just be talking. You don't know jack. He's better than all your running backs, but you have more depth, and that's the way I'm going to say it.
I would take Pollard over Swift just because of the lack of
Pollard over Gainwell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hey, we got to see a full season. None of them have a full season. Like, I think Swift can be really, really, really good in this offense, but is he going to stay healthy? That's my big thing. Like, you know, it is what it is. We'll see. You gave it to us, though, so I'm not going to sit here and argue too much the semantics. I take the dub.
Carry last year, he only had 193 carries, average 5 yards a carry, got 1,000 yards, almost 10 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns. Dog, are we serious right here? He's explosive, 3.82 yards after contact, 31 yards, 31 runs of explosive plays over 15 plus. I don't think so, bruh.
Do you think that he's going to be able to keep that average up, getting more snaps, getting more touches?
I don't want him to really be a 25 carry guy because it's not like his body's not small. He doesn't have a small body, but he's more the explosive back, right? He's not your bruising back like Ezekiel Elliott is going to just run through tackles, run through the middle of the tackles. You know, he's more of your outside guy. So that's why we got the Ronald Moore to kind of help that. I wish we would still get another person. So I am leery about that. I'm not going to lie. I'm leery about the overcarries and then who's going to come in and be able to. We have a Malik Davis. I like Malik Davis a lot, but he's still got stuff to prove. I think he's a good back in the whole scheme of things. But you know, I really want somebody else with Pollard to kind of lessen those blows. You don't even know what you're talking about, Drew. Tony Pollard, 6'2", 215 pounds. Get out of here. Stop talking football. You don't know it.
I love y'all. Need a show too. I need to get you a Jewish show together.
What the hell you talking about, bro? You just you're getting in the feeds. You don't know what the hell you talking about. Just hush.
Shout out to my guy Drew. Good. Thank you for getting him mad because it's all lately. These past couple of shows have been just me yelling at people in the comments. It's good to see James back at it again.
But talking off the side of his neck.
Shout out to Professor Chaos with the $5 super chat. He said they really outlawed that tackle because that's how Pat got hurt. Yeah, they always, there's too many damn rules in this game right now.
But that's to me that's a tackle to outlaw because when you're grabbing a player like that and they pull them, that injury always happens, and you can see it from far away. When somebody's grabbing a player like that, you can see before the injury happens because I saw that injury before it happens. When he grabbed Tony Pollard like that and pulled him, I was like, he about to get hurt because you could just see the way he was coming down. Yeah. And yes, we're talking like Tony Pollard. He's damn near pretty much elite because you're talking about guy who was getting minimal carries and was still damn near getting 1,000 yards. And then when he did get, and he still didn't start, you got man, get out of here, bro.
You see how I did it, though? I set it up perfectly because the arguments are becoming more and more, and these next two are going to be even by that.
These are the arguments. These are the last two right here, yeah.
Yeah, these are going to be the fun ones. I'm not giving you that
guy, so that's going to be a stalemate. You already know.
All right, so you know what was coming next, bro. Before I get into this one, shout out to Devontae. Shout out to Devontae with the $20 super chat, man.
Nice.
He says, so you're telling me Hurts, a running back per Cowboys fans, had 300 plus passing yards in a Super Bowl. That means a running back playing quarterback got to the Super Bowl before Dak. Cowboys fans don't realize they own themselves with that.
Got to a Super Bowl before Dak, but didn't win it. So you guys love participation awards. Clap, because you got participation.
So you would rather never get to the Super Bowl than
I definitely would love to,
it.
But you guys are just jumping on this because that's the only thing you can live on. Because if you're talking about his season, it was an average season. If you take away that run game, he has running ability.
But you can't take away the running game. That's the thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can, because if these teams take it away, we're going to see what he can really do. Because his running was really hurt the teams, not his passing.
But you don't think that they saw that his first year and went into last year thinking we got to stop his running?
Didn't get a big beat on Jalen Hurts like he did. Nobody thought Jalen Hurts was going to do this past season. Tell me they did.
As far as running, I think that a lot of people knew he was going to try and come out and be running.
Because that's what we knew when he came out of college. He was more of a running quarterback.
And then what did he do? He proved it with his arm.
What? He threw for what? How many yards?
That's 32? Not what I'm saying, but it's the combination of both. I don't understand why we separate them. Why do we? We're going to get to quarterback. We're going to get to quarterback. Right, we're going to get to quarterback. I don't want to go too deep into it. Right. But shout out to Devontae with that, because you almost got us into an hour-long conversation there.
Yeah.
I did want to trade Hurts. I didn't want to trade Hurts. I just wanted him to be better.
Hurts, and what was the thing? You were suspect on Hurts for at the beginning of the season.
His arm, throwing the football. And what did he prove to me? That he can throw the football, that he can win the game with his arm. He did it multiple times for us. But let's go over wide receivers.
You said, Drew, Super Bowl game. You ain't say Super Bowl champion, then shut the hell up. Super Bowl game.
Hey, we're gonna win it this year. We're gonna win it this year.
Well, no, you're not.
So now we're at wide receivers. You know who I'm giving this to.
We're taking that.
I don't know how. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Olamide Zaccheaus,
Michael Gallup. Better than your 3 over your 3.
Never. You're saying so CeeDee Lamb is not better than AJ Brown. Okay. Brandon Cooks damn sure ain't better than Devontae Smith.
Why not?
Because he's not. Brandon Cooks has been very average his whole career.
He'll get damn lie. He's played in the league 6. He's been in the league 10 years, and 7 of them years he's had 1,000 yards.
Barely over 1,000 yards. People act like he had like 12, 13,000 yards. Like it was 1,100, 1,050. Like it was always barely over. That boy is not that great, and he's always hurt.
Great.
He is not that great. He is not better than Devontae Smith.
Quarterbacks.
He's not better than Devontae Smith.
Whatever,
you guys say that. You say that Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. Devontae Smith's quarterback is Jalen Hurts for his whole career, and he's balling out. He's one of the top 10 wide receivers in the game.
Quarterbacks and hitting 1,000 yards. Damn, we're with 5 different quarterbacks, bruh.
That don't matter. That don't matter to me.
That don't matter. You sound silly saying that.
There's no way. I can't find. There's no way that you realistically think that Devontae Smith is worse than Brandon Cooks. Especially right now.
For you to sit there and say Devontae Smith is heads and shoulder above.
I didn't say heads and shoulder. I said that he's definitely better. He's definitely better.
He's not definitely better. I'm gonna pull up their stats right now.
So if the Eagles called the Cowboys right now, it's like, we'll give you Devontae Smith for Brandon Cooks straight up.
It would just be the age.
That's crazy. I would take Devontae Smith hands down every time.
Okay, you'll take that hands down every time, but I'm not.
I can't see anybody, Cowboys fans, even saying that Cooks way back. Oh, that's crazy.
I didn't say Cooks was better. You're talking about as a whole, the receiving core, right? You said as a whole, as a core. I'm saying that Brandon Cooks. If you were talking about Michael Gallup being our second, Brandon Cooks is not no major fall off from no Devontae Smith.
They all play the slot though. They aren't both. All 3 of your players are slot.
His whole career, bro. He don't play the slot. He plays outside.
You got a bunch of little
slot receiver.
CeeDee Lamb is good. I'll give you that. CeeDee Lamb is good, but I'm not worried about no Brandon. Last time we played Brandon Cooks, he didn't make it out that game. Let's just put it that way. Last time we played him, he ain't make it out that game.
He's had injuries, but you also see his quarterbacks he's had the last couple of years and still getting numbers like that. You got to be a good player. Let me see Devontae Smith going to the Houston, whatever the hell their last name is, Houston Texans, and play with mid quarterbacks, and let's see his numbers.
Bro said we don't know if Devontae Smith can be at 1. That's a stupid. Shannon Sharp, man. This guy. You lucky you ain't in my chat. I would have just timeouted you. You started to piss me off with this stuff. You becoming my Drew. But I don't know. I'm taking our wide receivers hands down. And then you go beyond just our top 3. We have a lot of depth at that position.
We got depth too.
Not like ours, bro.
How do we not have depth like y'all?
Who's behind Michael Gallup?
Michael Gallup, who's going to be our 4th receiver? We got our second-year playing Jalen Tolbert. Kevontae Turpin can play some snaps.
We ain't picking Turpin. He ain't a wide receiver.
Okay, well, Jalen Tolbert, though. Jalen Tolbert.
And we have like 5 guys fighting. So Zacchaeus Olamide Zacchaeus
Who?
from the Falcons.
Who?
From the
Who?
Falcons. Didn't have
Who?
one single drop last year. You
Who?
gonna know who you gonna know his name. Don't worry. You gonna remember his name. But at the end of the day, number 4 is Olamide Zacchaeus. He was, I think, the number 2 option on the Falcons last year. He had a pretty good year. I'm taking him over anybody that you got at number 4. Anybody you got. I'll probably take him over Gallup, to be honest.
No, you wouldn't. You smoking good dope right now, bro.
Hey, not yet. It's still early. It's
You
still
real
early.
early.
But I'm telling you,
You're sitting there taking over Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is better than your third.
No, he is not.
Yes,
Michael
he
Gallup's
is.
not better than Quez.
Ah!
I would take Quez over Michael Gallup. I don't know if the numbers would ever like suggest that, but I would take Quez over Michael Gallup
Hell
in a heartbeat.
no.
What has Michael Gallup done?
Quez Watkins, get the hell out of here.
Gallup hurt half the damn time. What does he do?
Oh my God, Michael Gallup is better than Quez Watkins. Cut it out.
Let me look at his numbers. He had one
Cut
good
it
year.
out.
He had one really good year. He's been in the league for a minute and has not really done that much. I'm taking Quez. If Quez had to be the number 2 option, which I'm assuming in 2019, Gallup was some form of that because he had 66 receptions. So I'm assuming that was, a big year for him. Those 2 years, 2020 and 2019, were his most receptions. If Quez Watkins was getting 60 plus catches, he would have over 1,000 yards.
It was a 5th.
I'm taking
Quez. Young
Quez.
Wilson for the $9.99 holla. Appreciate you, dog. Oh,
Did I miss
another shout out to another. Somebody else gave a super chat too. Let me give it that.
Am I missing him?
Yeah. Shout out to Cowboys 5 rings for the $9.99 holler too. Sorry about that, both of y'all, but I appreciate the donations. Thank you very much. But you're crazy in your dome if you're saying that Quez Watkins is better than Michael Gallup. The numbers ain't even showed it for Quez Watkins.
Yeah, no, I might be bugging there. Where did I miss
You are bugging.
I'm trying to find were they before Devontae? Were they after that? The ones I read. Were the super chats before or after the ones I read?
I think they were after.
Why are they not showing up?
They were on mine. I don't know why they didn't show, but it's all good.
My bad, y'all. I'm not doing it just because y'all Cowboys fans. I promise.
No, he always.
I always bring them up.
I ain't gonna hate on. He always brings them. But I'm gonna pull up some Quez Watkins snaps since you talk about he's so damn good. 33 catches for 354.
Right, because you double that. He would be right around that 1K.
The year before, 43 catches. How long you been with y'all?
3 years.
And the year before that, 7. Okay, sorry, we're not taking Quez Watkins.
I'm taking Quez over Gallup.
No,
you gotta take into context of how he plays. Quez Watkins is fast. He's shifty.
Okay, and our guy is not super fast, but he gets behind defenses, and he is an elite 50-50 guy. Elite 50-50 guy. Elite.
Either way, I'm taking the Eagles wide receiver bunch.
And
I don't think it's that
Joe's
close.
biased on this one.
I think you are too. There's no way you can realistically sit here and tell me that Brandon Cooks is better than Devontae.
I didn't say he was better than. I didn't.
Or even on the same atmosphere. Where would you rank? All right, I'm
a dog. Okay.
Where would you rank Brandon Cooks?
Better than Brandon Cooks. I'm saying he is better than Brandon Cooks. I'm not fighting you on that, Joe. He is better. But what I'm saying is Brandon Cooks, if you're talking about the whole receiving room, right? You said the whole receivers. We can bang with y'all, and that's why I said Cooks can bang. You said he ain't did nothing. Dude, it's hard to get 1,000-yard receptions in the NFL. You know that. And for you to play with like 4 or 5 different quarterbacks and still get 1,000 yards, do you understand how hard that is to do?
Yeah, all right, but we have 2 receivers that you can
Super Bowls, I believe.
We have 2 receivers that you can put in the top 10 of wide receivers in the NFL. Maybe top 13.
If Smith is not in nobody's top 10.
Where would you rank him? Would you have him in the top 13, top 15?
He'd be in my top 15.
Okay, you're not putting Cooks in your top 15?
Well, probably not.
All right, so you have 2 players that are maybe in the top 20 of wide receivers in the league. You have CeeDee Lamb in the top 10.
But then I'm adding Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is the changer of it because you can't take Quez Watkins over Michael Gallup. That's your homerism.
I would take having 2 premier wide receivers over having 3 decent ones.
We have a dog in Cooks. He's not chopped liver.
He's not dog. He's good. He's okay. He's
not okay. He's good.
He's a nah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. He's all right. He's all right. We'll see if he makes it out the game.
Good.
We'll see if he makes it. Maybe I am being a little biased. I'm okay with it.
League 10 years getting 1,000-yard receptions. I mean, 1,000-yard receiving years, 7 out of your 10 years. Name a whole bunch of those guys that are just.
AJ gonna do it. AJ definitely gonna do it.
He's supposed to be elite, right?
He is elite, and then Brandon Cooks ain't.
You're getting 1,000-yard seasons. How are you not a damn good receiver?
He's good. He's good.
Okay,
he's good, but he's not great.
You're taking your whole room. See, you're being biased.
Yes, no.
My 3 are better than yours, are just as good. No, my 3rd trumps your 3rd, so that's why our receiving room is better.
Hey, we all got opinions. Quez Watkins, when he had over 60 catches, he had over 600 yards, and he only played 12 games. So if we would have had him for that full season in the second year, we could be talking about him having a 1,000-yard season. But like you said, if it was a 5th, it didn't happen. So it is what it is. But Quez is my dog, and it is a little bit biased because a lot of people have been hating on Quez lately. He was
rated 108 out of 113, and
people were hating on him this year.
I know them. The grades are crazy, but damn, he was rated almost dead last in receiving in Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, I got to talk to PFF about that. I got to call Sam up and see what's going on with these rankings because I don't like that. But this is the one. So we're still tied. We're still tied at 8. I don't think that this is going to change that. But it is what it is.
Because we ain't agreeing on this.
We're definitely not going to agree here. I mean, I don't even know.
You're just going to use the Super Bowl to trump me. That's it. That's all you're going to use.
Yeah. And his year last year.
So that's all you can use.
That's all that we need. That's what was that movie? That's the only argument you have. That's the only one I need. I mean, there's we can sit here and yell at each other for 10 minutes, but realistically, yeah. Whose team do you like? And then you pick the quarterback from there because there's no way I'm ever going to get Cowboys fans to say our quarterback's better. And there's really no way y'all going to get last year, and you can attest to this. I did say that you guys had the better quarterback. I did say that. I did say that Dak Prescott was the class of the NFC East, but things change. So I'm taking Hurts. I'm taking that Super Bowl appearance. I'm taking my guy, man. I think Jalen is only going to get better too.
Okay. Well, like I said, that's what you'll use against Dak, and I get that. But as I said, Dak is 1-0 against him. Okay.
1-0, yeah.
Dak is a winner. He had an 8-3 record coming back off for a broken hand after 5 games. Still outthrew your quarterback for more touchdowns, missing 5 games. Yes, he had more interceptions, but it is very well documented. If you watch the tape, at least 5 of them, if you watch the tape, came off receivers' hands. That ain't your quarterback's fault, okay? And when people are talking about, Dak's turnovers, he's never been a turnover machine. Look at his whole damn career. He's never been a turnover machine. He's a leader. He's a winner. Over 62% winning percentage in Dallas, 62%. And since he's been in the league, he's never had a losing record. Ever.
Jalen hasn't either.
Okay, well, and my guy had Jason Garrett as a coach for 4 damn years, and he still got 2 playoff games with the sorriest coach ever. Will never coach in the NFL again, ever in the history of NFL football. And he still made playoffs, still won division championships in that. So now we got a better coach. So now we can take to the next level. So Dak, shut these guys up and get to the Super Bowl, because once he gets to the chip, it's over. Y'all never be able to say nothing again.
We made the playoffs with Jalen Reagor, and so that gives me a lot of confidence in Jalen Hurts. Y'all could call him a running back. Y'all could call him a ballerina. Y'all could call him a boogeyman. I really don't care what y'all call him.
But you still say that running game, when we talk about Jalen Hurts, you go quick.
That's his elite trait. Yeah, that's his elite trait. But at the end of the day,
it's not his arm though.
But no, it's not. But at the end of the day, I've said this about you guys, about your guys too. I've said this about the Cowboys. I've said this about Russell Wilson. I've said this about a couple of different quarterbacks. Maybe you should go back to what you're good at. Maybe if Dak Prescott is and I've heard you guys say this too, because I troll y'all sometimes on y'all shows. I've heard y'all say that, I would like to see Dak use his legs a little bit more. So I'm not going to knock Jalen Hurts for utilizing his elite trait. I think that's what makes him, yes, a great quarterback right now. But that doesn't mean that he can't can't get better as a passer. And I would even say he was first and second in most categories as an in the pocket to passer. So if all you're looking at is he didn't have 5,000 yards, you might never get that from Jalen Hurts. But what you might get is some Super Bowls.
I'm not using that as the barometer of Hurts. Is not going to be a 5,000 yard passer. He's not. He's going to be run and throw. But when that running gets shut off, let's see how Hurts does it, because we've seen other teams. We've seen the league when the league catches up with you with your running game. Let's see what you can do with passing. So let's see this year, because people are going to know he's going to run that damn ball. Defenses are going to be wary of it. So let's see where he comes as a passer, because you even said yourself, he's not an elite passer as of right now.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be. I mean, look, I want to bring it up real quick before, because there were a lot of times that he definitely didn't run for a lot. A couple games he didn't run for a lot of yards.
Hold on, let me just talk to your fans right quick. 8 years of nothing. We own the Eagles. You Eagles fans talk all this trash. We own y'all. How many times has Dak been in the playoffs already in since he's been in the league?
And he did nothing with it. 8 years
of nothing. Y'all don't have anything. Jalen Hurts is your quarterback, and you don't have a Super Bowl championship. Oh, we went to the Super Bowl. We won a participation award, but you didn't win it. So you don't have nothing either. Shut up.
Hey.
Y'all just talking. You're just running your mouth, because all he does is run. You don't have a Super Bowl. So what are you acting like Jalen Hurts done? Oh, you're using your participation award. He got to the Super Bowl. He got to the Super Bowl, but he didn't win it. And he had a couple bad plays in there to see you. And Drew, you guys have 3 years.
My man, he played one of the best quarterback games as a quarterback in the NFL in the Super Bowl.
So you
guys didn't even make it there though. I don't understand. I don't understand how. I get it. Going to the Super Bowl, not winning isn't that big of a flex. Not even being able to get out of the divisional round though. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
We had what are you talking about? Like I said, we dropped the ball in 2021, okay?
And 2020, and 2019, and 2018.
No. We dropped the ball in 2021. That was a team. That was a legit team that should have did it. That was a legit team. Last year, we had a great defense. The offense was not as good as the offense was in 2021. I'm gonna keep it real. It wasn't. And then when we lost Tony Pollard, it was all whatever. You have a championship game. You want a hand clap for that? You didn't win nothing. You want a hand clap?
You should be proud of us. I mean, we out here killing it. I would take a hand clap.
How are y'all killing it? Y'all have one Super Bowl victory. How are y'all killing it?
Bro, we have one Super Bowl victory. Been to the Super Bowl twice in the past 7 years, 5 years, I think, right?
Have one victory.
But how many do you have in the last 28?
5.
None. You have 0 in the last 28 years.
You have one, and we have a 0 in 28. You have 1. You act like you
one
have
is more than 0, right? One is more than 0.
Okay, 1 is more than 0. Give your hands up a clap, because you got one Super Bowl in your whole history. And it just happened in 20. What year was that? 2017. The NFL has been around.
It was amazing.
Long?
It was a fun year. It was a fun year. I mean, we could, if we're gonna do this whole how long has the NFL been around? Let's use some context to what let's use some context to what the Cowboys were dealing with when they won.
The NFC Championship since 2004, when
take
you
away
guys were supposed to be dominated in the 2000s. You only have one more NFC title than us, and since like 2004, since you guys were dominating since the 2000s.
How did Jalen Hurts come into the league 3 years ago and already has the same team? Oh, I didn't even finish my questions. How he come into the year 3 years ago and has the same amount of wins as Dak Prescott in the playoffs? How does that happen? How does that happen if he's never missed the playoffs?
You played the New York freaking Giants bums in the playoffs, and then you played the San Francisco Niners. Even with Brock Purdy,
you played the 49ers too. Why didn't you beat the 49ers?
And you played Josh Johnson.
You guys played the Bucks. You guys played old ass Tom Brady. How is that not an easy path?
What? Also, you're gonna say Tom Brady over Brock Purdy, Josh Johnson, and Daniel Jones?
Yep.
Stop.
Tom Brady was trash. That whole season, Tom Brady was trash.
Brady's trashiest play is better than all 3 of them quarterbacks.
Brock Purdy gave it to y'all. Brock Purdy let y'all know what time it was. Brock Purdy made y'all look crazy. He was doing those little sidearm throws.
How many points did they score in that game?
More than y'all.
Right, but it wasn't that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brock Purdy did not do anything to us. Brock Purdy
Hey.
did not do anything to us. We had stupid turnovers in the game that gave them half the field. They did nothing offensively in that game against us. Period. Deebo Samuel did nothing. Christian McCaffrey did nothing, and neither did Brock Purdy.
That defense did something against y'all, though.
Period. We lost our playmaker, Tony Pollard.
That defense did something to y'all.
You
How
guys
many
played the New York Giants, who, come on, dog. Anybody would love to play the Giants in the playoffs. And then you got the Niners.
win during the regular season, and you would have. The Vikings played them and they lost.
Beat us in 3 years.
I mean, but you didn't have the number 1 seed. If you had the number 1 seed, you would have had the same path as us. We were good all year. That's how it works. We were great all year. That's how it works. Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. That's how it works.
I don't need no Snicker bar. I didn't cuss out no damn law for siding with Dak. That's my dog. Watch what you're talking about. That's a whole lie.
Oh, I thought he said signing with Dak. I was like, what?
No,
Dak got a
with Dak. That's my dog, law. We always go because we always have the Dak conversation. So right there, that tells you right there that I haven't been like, oh, Dak, because I even argue with my own fans about Dak at times. So that's not even the case. But to sit there and tell me that you guys had an easy way of getting into the playoffs, and like I said, I can't control when Brock Purdy got hurt because y'all knocked him out the game. So that was a difference. But to come in with Josh Johnson in the first quarter, the game was over. You
guys lost because of the defense.
You Super Bowl win. And you
answer me this question real
quick. Beat the Niners with Brock Purdy too, because Brock Purdy ain't no damn good quarterback.
All right, but let me ask this question. Do you think that the Cowboys lost to the 49ers because of the 49ers offense or because of the 49ers defense?
We lost because we had bad turnovers and we lost Tony Pollard.
So 49ers defense. So we whooped on that 49ers defense. You see where I'm going here? We beat up on that defense.
You whooped on the defense because they were doing 3 and outs with Josh Johnson. Ain't that easier?
How does that have to see? That's an excuse, bro. See, that's an excuse. That's just trying to cope.
We was talking football here. So
you trying to cope.
Hold up. So you're going to tell me, Joe, that when you got a quarterback who is trash and who can't get a first down for you, and your defense continually gets on the field because you can't get first downs, that your defense is not going to wear down, and you're already playing a talented offense, it's not going to get gashed. So
didn't you just say Brock Purdy was trash? So what's the difference?
Brock Purdy was okay. He ain't no Don.
Hey, we tied 9-9. We tied 9-9.
Did not beat Dak, dude.
We tied 9-9. I can't wait to go back over this list. I can't wait to go back over this list.
We're going to go back over this.
Halfway through the year.
We're going back over this. I can't wait. Jalen Hurts, be healthy. Dak, be healthy. Please, all y'all in here, Drew, please be in here because I want to hear your damn excuse when we beat y'all. Because all you had was excuses when we whipped your ass in Dallas.
We didn't have our quarterback.
You talking all that trash then.
We didn't have our quarterback.
We didn't have our quarterback, and you barely beat us. Yeah. Cooper Rush almost beat y'all.
It's like the Cooper Rush ain't almost do nothing. Stop that.
Did.
Cooper Rush ain't do nothing.
Cooper Rush almost came back and beat y'all.
The Eagles are gonna blow y'all out. We sweeping y'all.
Is wild too.
Yeah, now the chat been popping today. I ain't gonna cap. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We still got 125 people in here. Be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe wherever you are.
Good, Uncle Drew. Don't go nowhere. When we whip your ass with Dak and it's against Jalen Hurts, please, I can't wait till your excuses because I don't make the excuse. And Joe won't come with them excuses. That's why I mess with Joe. But y'all in the chat, y'all gonna have nothing but excuses.
They make them for me.
Half of y'all that's in this chat that be bumping y'all gums ain't gonna be here when we beat y'all. Especially when we beat y'all when y'all got hurt. Y'all gonna come with the excuses.
So for like 10 years from now, we ain't gonna be here because that's probably when y'all beat us next.
Yeah, right.
That's true though. Minshew did put up 34 points on y'all defense. That was bad.
Dak owns y'all. So how are we just barely beating y'all? Dak owns y'all. Go with it. How long has Dak been in the league? And he's killing y'all every year. How about that, Drew? Can you answer that?
He killed Carson Wentz, who's not the same excuse that you had with your coach.
I'm asking Drew and all you other Eagles fans, how come Dak owns you if he's so mid?
Because Carson Wentz is trash.
Not you.
All right, go ahead. I'll let them say it. Somebody say Carson Wentz was trash.
Your defense ain't trash, remember? You remember y'all had that vaunted defense and he dropped 40 on y'all.
Hey.
Answer it, Drew. Answer it, y'all. How come Dak owns y'all if he's so trash and mid? Answer it.
Well, Devontae said, shout out to Devontae with the $5 super chat. He said all Dak had to do was make less mistakes than a 7th round, Mr. Irrelevant. He
I
didn't
feel
do
you.
that.
But you know what? Our receivers, Michael Gallup, told you had a bad knee. That was a bad throw Dak did, but that was a bad play by Michael Gallup. But I still need your Eagles fans. Shout out to Young Wilson for the 1999 holla. Appreciate you. Dak is 8-2 versus Philly. Philly fans, I'm gonna end it at this, Joe, and then we'll go with the conversation. I want these Philly fans to answer me. Why is Dak 8-2 against y'all?
I would answer. You know my answer. But yeah, there we go. See, somebody said it.
Y'all Philly fans is weak. Y'all Philly fans is weak because Wentz is trash, but
He
he
was.
played against your defense.
But how can you say that? How can you say that about your coach and we can't say that about our quarterback? I don't get that.
Y'all were loving.
We did at that point, but he sucked.
You love Wentz.
I did.
You used to go to bed for Wentz.
I used to like yogurt. I hate yogurt
What's
now.
so funny about you Philly fans, y'all are so delusional. You talk about
Things
Cowboys
change.
fans being delusional. I remember when y'all drafted Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz couldn't do nothing wrong.
Things
as soon as
change.
y'all got Jalen Hurts, you turned on him. Philly fans, shut the F up because y'all were jocking. Shut the F up because y'all were jocking Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz couldn't do no wrong in your organization. Now all of a sudden it's his fault. Reason why y'all getting y'all asses kicked. Y'all switching up now. Shut up. Dak owns y'all. 8-2. He owns you. He is your daddy. Now, if you
Except for when it comes to the playoffs, right? You ain't gonna do nothing there. Daddy goes get some milk when it comes to the playoffs.
This is a Philly Dallas Cowboys show. So if Dak was 2-8 against y'all, every one of you Philly fans would be in the chat. That's why Dak is 2-8 against Philly. That's why Dak is 2-8 against Philly. But no, y'all want to switch the narrative. And as they say, move the goalposts because you made the Super Bowl. That's great. I'll give you that. But we're talking about head-to-head right now. He owns y'all. You can't get away from it. You can't say nothing. He has top numbers against your defense, your team. He averages damn near 30 points a game against y'all. Sorry, answer it.
Hey, bro, people coming in. Shout out to Devontae with the $10 super chat. He said,
y'all 2-8.
Dak has never kept the Eagles from the playoffs. Facts. The Eagles kept Dak from the playoffs in 2019. Facts. Only game that was a postseason decider in Dak's career versus the Eagle. It's all facts. That's all facts.
What's all facts?
We did keep you from the playoffs. Y'all never kept us from the playoffs.
Facts.
Y'all never kept us. Professor Chaos said $5 super chat.
Keep you out the playoffs. We play.
Hey, it's the truth. 8-2 really don't mean nothing if it's just regular season games.
Beating you
because it really don't mean nothing. Right now, you're 1-0 against our quarterback. That's how I look at it. But I get it. That's what y'all hold on to. I'm not gonna hate on it. It is what it is.
Hold on to if he means
y'all have it exactly. We both got our weapons. You know what I'm saying? We weaponized. Y'all 27 years of being trash.
First ain't beat Dak, so that's your only weapon.
Hey, shout out to Professor Chaos with the $5 super chat. Rush almost beat us, but we were up 20-3 at the half. Dallas never had a lead. Minshew was up at 17 at 1. So yeah, Minshew almost beat y'all. We could go for hours, but I do got to go to this expo. I gotta go to the expo. It starts at 1. But so we gonna get out of here. I think the winners of this is both chats. That's what I'm gonna say because y'all got both of us mad today. Both of us had a little rant. Yeah, so I respect that. I even got Twitter people hitting me up like, yo, y'all crazy. I
love it. Hey,
yeah, this was a good one.
We can't get off here, but as I said, y'all love to deflect. You answer my question, Drew. I ain't answering shit from you.
We gonna get y'all a show.
From you. I ain't answering nothing from you. The underdog says, how many championships? See, that's what I'm saying. That's what you can't answer my question. So bye, chat. I love y'all. Great show, but I won. I won because y'all can't answer my question of why we whip y'all ass every year.
I think a call-in is necessary. Next week, we're going to do a round table. We got Carmi coming back, and we got Pest, the analyst for the Giants. So we're going to talk a little bit about NFC East and go over that. But I think a call-in might be needed before the season starts.
Bring it.
But other than that, man, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. We still got 140 people in here. We love y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. But you got anything to say to these people before we get out of here, brother?
Yes, I got a lot of things real quick to say. Y'all delusional. Y'all want to deflect, move the goalposts like they say, deflect championship games, Super Bowl. You keep deflecting. Dak owns y'all. He's your daddy, and that's the fact. So you can say here 8 years of nothing. That's fine. You don't have a Super Bowl championship with Jalen Hurts, so you don't have anything either. Ha
We
ha.
will soon.
Be quiet.
We will soon. We will soon.
We
But
got
that's
participation awards. Thank you. Give you.
why we do this
We
show.
got a ribbon. We got a ribbon for you. We got a ribbon for your participation award, Drew, and all you Eagles fans. We have a participation award for you because you haven't won nothing with Jalen Hurts either. Ha ha.
Hey, we're gonna win it this year, and then you ain't gonna have nothing to say.
We are.
They don't have nothing to say. Shout out to everybody with the super chats on both sides. Shout out to everybody that hit the like, hit the subscribe. We definitely will be back. Shout out to Professor Chaos. I don't think I've ever seen the name before. That's new.
Got 5, buddy. No matter how old they are, and if it was so easy for y'all to catch up, like I said in our show,
They changed the rules because of y'all. They changed the rules. Now we got a whole salary cap. That's a whole conversation for another time. There's a lot that changed since the 90s.
We're gonna keep winning Super Bowl, so they said let's change this up because we can't have Cowboys in 8 in a row.
Anyways, other than that, y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all. But I am Joe, and that is James, and we are the best enemies. Peace.